talking to people who survive vacation horror stories. Still with us, Nathan and Kim Maker, who found themselves on a dream vacation that turned into a nightmare. Before we went to the break, you now are no longer attached to the rope, which is the lifeline in so many ways to keep you connected to safety. You're there together. You realize that you're not in, I guess, danger, but you're not in the ideal situation.
Right.
Then the weather turns.
Yes. Yeah, so as we're out there, some weather started coming in, and the whole trip had been kind of overcast. You know, it'd clear up.
Where are you when you notice the weather is not? You're under?
No, we're just floating.
You're just floating?
Just floating.
Where's the boat at this point?
Well, it kind of floated out of sight.
Well, we floated, yeah.
No, we floated out of sight. They were tied up.
Yeah.
And
so you are up, you start to see the boat floating away, but it's not the boat, it's you.
It's us.
Because you don't have an attachment to the rope anymore.
Right.
As it's going further away and you're looking at each other, does panic set in?
No.
Why?
Well, hang on. We wanted to panic, but I knew, I'm a retired firefighter. I knew I can't panic. I just can't.
Okay.
And so, keep it at bay.
Yeah.
Keeping it, so we do know at some point the Coast Guard was called. Planes are out looking for you all, but they can't see you. You can see them.
Yes.
This is my nightmare.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you're seeing them. Are you like, ah?
Yeah, we had these safety marker buoys. So there's a yellow one. We also have a green one. We each were waving them in the air, trying to get their attention.
These are attached to your equipment and they inflate?
It's got a little hook there that we hook onto our equipment, and we
in the water, it stands
blow it,
straight up and down.
So you're waving this and they can't see it.
Right.
Okay, and then you also have this compass. Is it true this had started to run out of battery though?
Yeah.
Mind it, so I was wearing one that when we went in, we thought this is our last dive of the trip. I don't need to worry about charging it. It still had about 20%. I'm fine. Thankfully, he had two different computers on. So mine died the first night and his both died by that second night.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
And then at some point you decide to tether yourselves together.
Yeah.
Nathan did that immediately, and honestly, it saved our lives.
It saved your life.
Yeah.
So this is what you use?
Yeah.
How did this work?
So this portion of it is connected to like my vest or BCD. And then this part is called a regulator, and this connects to her tank. This is just her air gauge. This is literally a 10-cent split ring that was the weak link. And I'm embarrassed because if there's any divers, it should have been stainless, and I got the wrong kind. And it's rusted. But that's where we hooked together.
You hooked yourselves together.
So I'm basically, this is connected to me, this is connected to her, so we had about 5 feet.
So as we're being tossed in the waves, we're not being separated from each other.
So you're still together there.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
that's at least good.
Yeah.
So you're there and the hours are going by. You're tired. You were trying to rest your head, taking turns napping because one person was watching out for sharks.
Anything,
Well, the other.
The other things that are out there.
Anything else, yes.
Yeah.
You got so exhausted you started to hallucinate at some point.
Yeah, so as we're swimming, because we were having to swim to stay warm.
Because the water was that cold.
I did not know you could get hypothermia in 85-degree water.
I know that sounds
Absolutely
ridiculous, but we were shivering, so we were having to swim to stay warm.
You started to hallucinate so much so that you thought you saw your father who'd passed away.
Yeah. We were swimming, and we both would catch ourselves, just our eyes were closed and we weren't even paying attention where we were going, and all of a sudden I popped up and my dad's standing right there, and I just lost him like 2 years before. And he has a set of keys and he hands them, here's son. And I shook my head and I said, Kim, do you see my dad? And she's like, no. I was like, you need to watch me because I think I'm fading fast. That's him right there.
Yep. Yeah.
I know that we're smiling a lot now, and I'm happy that you're here, but I know that there was a moment where you thought you were dying. You wanted to detach yourself from the equipment.
Yeah. So it was the second evening, and we thought we had heard we thought it was the last Coast Guard plane go by, and an hour goes by, and we don't hear another plane. Another hour goes by, and we don't hear another plane. And he turned to me and had the conversation that you don't want to have.
What did you say?
I just told her, I know I'm fading. I can feel it. If I don't make it, you just got to cut that tether and just let me go, because you got to get home. And she was not hearing that.
Nope.
We weren't giving up. I wasn't giving up. I just wanted her to know, if the worst happened, just let me go. It's okay.
What was that like hearing him say that?
I didn't tell him at the time, but I had already been planning out how I would end things. That sounds terrible, but no, I had kind of fantasized about taking my fins off because you're kicking for so long and your body's swelling up from all the salt water. So my feet were just so swollen. So we had to keep kicking to stay warm. And every time I would kick,
Because
it was
if you'd
so
taken
painful.
those fins off, you would have just allowed your body to just
unzip and go, right? So, but I didn't want to say those things out loud, but.
Oh, so apparently I did.
You were trying to give me an out to protect me, and I just didn't want to hear it.
So around 11 p.m., 38 hours being stranded in the ocean, a boat arrived to rescue you?
Yeah.
Yeah, Coast Guard.
This is amazing. The Coast Guard was doing their very last pass in an airplane that night. They had to go back to Corpus Christi, which was like 8 hours away. They were doing the very last pass, and the lady that was over the whole operation said, I just got a hunch, something's not right with our modeling. She sends them into a different quadrant, district, whatever it is, and that's where we were at. Kim starts hitting them with her light, SOS.
Wow.
And we see them, in the movies, you see them bank the wings. They don't do that in real life.
What do they do in real life?
They just kept passing,
They kept doing crossing
over
over us. But at first they went way far out, and we're like, they didn't see us. Oh,
But
no.
then they had.
But they had.
Yeah.
They'd seen you.
Yeah.
And you said that moment you saw the hand of God.
Yeah, because I mean, we were hopeless. We were still fighting, but we didn't think we maybe weren't gonna make it home. And all of a sudden, these beautiful men and women from the Coast Guard just come, as fast as you can imagine, on this little bitty boat.
Yep.
And they're like, we're with the U.S. Coast Guard, we're here to save you.
You're like, hallelujah. Okay.
That gives me chills still.
That's amazing. Okay. When they rescued y'all, you had severe dehydration, sunburn, jellyfish stings. The second you left the hospital, though, you had very specific plans to celebrate.
Yeah.
We actually have video of your homecoming in Oklahoma. I mean, you survived your vacation. And the question is, how did you go back into the water?
A month later.
You went back a month later?
Yep.
Why?
I didn't want to be afraid.
Yeah, you didn't want to be afraid.
I didn't want to be afraid of the water.
Wow.
Yeah.
Give it up for Nathan and Kim. I'm happy you're safe and smiling. Thank you for this exclusive.
Thank you.
God bless you. I mean, what a story. Coming up, 25-year-old Logan Moore's European trip of a lifetime almost turned deadly when he fell 50 feet into a mountain crevice. His story of how he survived his vacation after the break. This show makes me feel like the luckiest kid in the world. We play. This is the kind of energy I like. You wore the jacket. I did.
I love what I do, and I do what I love.
We're just getting started.
We laugh. And friends become family. Our Tan Fam.
Hello, Tan Fam.
Watch weekdays